So the name of the new wine is Rescue Dog Wines, and we have 5 different wines that we're currently making, and they are all based out of the Lodi AVA, where we have chosen to sort of launch ourselves into the wine, grape growing, and winemaking business.
And then the newest wine is our 2018 rosé.
The way that came together, it was not the original plan, but when my husband decided that he really wanted to move to the country and grow wine grapes, the compromise for a city girl like myself was that if we're moving out to the country, then that means we'll have some space. And if we have space, that means I get to foster and rescue dogs. So as we continued to look at properties trying to find just the perfect combination of grape growing and places to live, people would ask, why are you moving out here? And my answer was always because I want to rescue dogs. We're going to have space. And Blair's answer was always because I want to grow grapes and make wine. And probably the 10th or 20th time I said it, I think Blair actually figured out that I really meant it. And he figured, let's just put the two together and have them work.
Yeah, I think we were looking at some property down in Paso Robles, so we looked all over the state for a vineyard, and kind of the long drive between there and Gilroy, it kind of popped in my head, Rescue Dog Wines. Why don't we do a wine called Rescue Dog Wines? And Laura said, no, we're not doing wine. So initially we were just going to be growers, but kind of put a pin in that concept, and it's came alive again.
So here we are.
We decided at the beginning, before we made Dime One, that we would make the dogs a full partner, so we give 50% of our profits to rescue dog organizations.
Do the dogs have agents?
The dogs do not have agents.
You saw that one coming already, didn't you?
Yeah. So what we're doing now, since we're not profitable yet, we're mainly doing donations in the form of donating wines to rescue organizations for them to use for fundraisers.
Oh, cool.
So we're donating in advance of future profits. This is correct.
Daisy, yes.
Yeah. She is ours. So
she's our original rescue dog.
Yep.
So I did rescue her from animal control when we were in Georgia, and I think that was my first real introduction to the need for rescuing dogs. And growing up in high school, we purchased our dogs from breeders, and we loved them, and they were wonderful. But when I was ready to get my own dog out on my own, I did go and look at the different rescue organizations and tour various shelters, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that there are amazing companion animals that are available through the shelters who find themselves homeless through no fault of their own, and they're just every bit as good as any dog that you could get from a breeder. Yes, it's hard, but it's also hard to realize that if we don't rescue dogs, if we don't foster them, that's far sadder to me.
I went to Napa for the first time during the real estate crash, and there were signs all over the place for vineyards for sale at that time, right? Because people were getting out of the business. At that point, I thought, maybe this is something we could do. And Laura's like, no. We did really well in the real estate market in the Bay Area. I'll just put it that way. That helped finance the dream. So
great.
Yeah.
It did. It evolved. It started with wanting to grow grapes. It really did. It started out there. It did not start well, at least I don't remember it starting full blown with wanting to make wine. It was we were going to be grape growers. I mean, both of his parents grew up on farms, and Blair was, child labor on his father's hobby farm when he was in
that story.
Junior high and high school. So there's some of the farming gene that's buried deep somewhere in him. So it was about growing grapes.
Yeah. It was getting back to that and figuring out a way to actually do farming as a business. Yeah. it's kind of a semi-retirement.
Which is turning into no retirement at all.
Which is no retirement at all. Yeah. Never worked harder in my life. Yeah.